Well, hello everybody. I got to update my price. I'm going to show the actual dollar amount for every little thing bought for the pack rat, we're going to call her for now. So that build will be to show you exactly what I'm doing and what it costs me to do it. Unlike Brittany here, was a step-by-step showing you from beginning to end of what you're up against when you do a build. And things that you change, things you have to go around, my fails, my victories, and where we're at right now. I got another word from UPS that my stuff will finally show up 9 days late. Tomorrow. I heard that last week. Because it was supposed to be done the week before on a Wednesday. Now, not to dwell on their incompetence for shipping. I don't know what's worse. Finding the right price on the products, finding the right shipping price on the products, or getting the damn product delivered when it's supposed to be here. Here's your update on Pack Rat. This is what you get into. $45 for spark plugs. I'm going to keep them because we're going to clean and paint this engine. I can put the old plugs in it to keep everything out of the combustion chambers. Then I can screw these brand new high dollar ones back in. I was working on the fuel bowl. Duh, I lost the gasket. I have looked everywhere for it. I knocked it off and it was hard, old, and rolled away like a wheel. You can smell that old leaded gasoline. Yum. Give you the problems here. 6-volt system. This thing barely works. The solenoid burn up. If you're lucky, you can cross it out, it'll run. It gets a little bit warm, you use it 3 or 4 times in a row, it doesn't want to work anymore. Okay, next. Coil wasn't grounded, so I grounded the coil to the body for the whole body hole was there. I just shot a self-tamper in it and took the wires that were running to the coil down here was just taped to actually grounded to the body. This is the temperature input. This here, the firing order was wrong. The wires were on wrong. They never would have got it started. The coil was messed up. Now inside I found, I'll show you what I found. Take this with me, save a trip. That's the reason why I hate following people. Lug nut, didn't know what they were doing. They run so much power through it with a jumper, with jumpers. And there's the coil and the solenoid is burned up. I found this when I cleaned the car out. You cannot pull those wires out no matter how hard you try. They are actually fused in there. I even put a pair of pliers on them and tried to do the twist and it still wouldn't come out. And they're pretty well scarred off. Current was too high. Telltale sign. That's what tipped my hand to find out the starter was bad. And I was over there working on stuff and my hand, back of my arm backed up, hit this. The damn thing started to burn me. Hear that? I really don't think that's normal. Here's the problem. 6 volt. Now why would you put all 6 volt stuff back in when you got a 12 volt battery in there? Throw a charger on, let's just burn it up. What happened was the solenoid got hot and quit cranking, so they thought the battery was going dead, so they threw jumpers on it and probably fried everything. I'm hoping they didn't. It's got a beautiful clock. in the dash. 85 years ago, when the car was new, it had this little tag on the clock to tell you it has a separate warranty. Here's your official Packard gas cap. We opened this up because I wanted to see what was going on. Found a little soft spot up here, nothing major. I'm gonna cut it out and weld it in. I want to tape it off about here. Next time I got a chance to take everything out of here, I want to remove these visors. Look at this. These sun visors are freaking 85 years old. Want some mouse poop? You can't get around that stuff unless you're an idiot. I got to mask up and put gloves on. Anyway, I got to take them down. I got to take out the, and I'll guarantee you it's just going to rain mouse turds. Rest that cloth, I just take a razor knife, cut around the window, take it down. See, they pulled so hard they bent this bow, but that's okay. I'm going to have an extra bow because this is being cut out. I'll clean the cloth off of that, and then I'll go back here and I'll go back and trim with the razor knife around that back window, remove all that cloth. And then after I have the liberty of sweeping up all the mouse poop, rodent feces, turds, or whatever you want to call them, I want to take a wire wheel. I got a slow turning little drill from Harbor Freight. It was defective. It doesn't rev up all the way. It just goes so fast. It's perfect for certain things we want a lot of control. So I kept it. I'll get a couple of wire wheels on it. I'll come here and clean all this out. Okay. Still got the original heater box right there. If you want heat, you open one door. You want a lot of heat, you open two doors. If you want some heat on your feet, you open the bottom door. That will be rebuilt and be working with a high-low switch on a fan, just because the wife gets cold easy, and I want to start going to car shows next year, so we can do that. Little boogers eating holes in everything, weren't they? Glad I didn't have my face under there when I pulled that, or I'd have got rained on. Hey, parts. They got the flywheel cover off, which I don't know why. They're supposed to be. Let's go over and look at it. You time these from the flywheel, not from the front. It has a old timing chain in there. That's a scary thought. I got to get my endoscope out and look up in there. This is a timing cover. Okay. So you take this off. Telltale sign. They were trying to get the engine in time. Why would you do that when you don't even have the wiring correct? You're chasing your tail. Now, be careful. There's 3 bolts missing off this, and I felt, why would they reach there and take those bolts out? Have no idea. This thing has 43,000 miles on it. It hasn't rolled over. All the numbers are perfect in line and everything. I'm going to assume that's it because she's solid. There's been some repairs done here and there, haphazard, using galvanized metal and screws. Somebody thought they were a body man. I'll get that screw in there, and there's 2 adjusters. I'll figure them out. But I gotta wait till I get that dash out where I can look right in there and see what I'm doing instead of trying to reach underneath and do it. Just little things like that. Now, with my son's, I got a Dana rear end will fit under here. So, if the engine is a no-go, and I'm praying it is because I want to run the flathead 6 just to be different, update the alternator naturally to a 12-volt system. I'm pretty sure from the measurements, the power steering gearbox out of that S10, my donor car, will replace this. Put the shifter on the floor, do away with this, take the steering column out, measure it, cut it, and weld a joint on it, and join it right to that gearbox over there using the Packard steering wheel. Brake light switch. Interesting. I'm really just learning as I go on this one. This will be an episode weekly when I can, probably every Monday. There's my hood panels. Because pretty soon I'm going to have to just cover the front of this up with the tarp, strap it down tight, put the hood panels on to hold it up, and keep the winter rain and stuff from getting in there. Like I'm saying, there's the glass bowl right here. Let's see if I can reach here and get it. For the bottom of the fuel pump, and somehow I lost the gasket. I was being real careful with it. When I went down to put it on, I must have bumped it, and it took off like old Schneider's hound. Didn't look under there. Nope, not there. At least that's a $2.99 gasket, believe it or not. That's cheap for everything else this thing's gonna need. This still works. The emergency brake still works. Reason why I want to keep this intact, these engines, I'll give you the history on them. When Packard quit making these flatheads, White Motor Company started using this Packard motor in some of their middle class trucks. Little back then, they're bigger trucks, not their pickups. So this will be moved forward a little bit so it won't affect anything. The 4-link bars and everything I got underneath here, because this is going to be parted out. I'm tired of dealing with it. We'll swing to the front, and then I'll basically mark the frame where I need it, and then I'm going to build a framework take the doors off, build a frame, take my engine hoist and lift it up, and just roll this car out from underneath it. Then I can set that body down, change the rear end, do some brake line work, do all that welding sitting on top instead of underneath looking up. It'll be cut here for that, and then we will find the best place to merge it to keep this rain run. We'll dictate it. The back needs some work, needs new mounts and stuff. No big deal. So basically I am studying it. It's research and development time for the Packard. I think I got the design I need for that front end. I just want to hear this engine run. Is it going to run out good? Because it runs out good, I'll invest money in it. I'll put the 1-wire alternator on it. We'll get rid of this carburetor, put a larger carburetor on it. A two barrel. A different air filter system, naturally. It's got these 2 massive horns that bolt in right here. That'd be kind of nice to have in there. What I want to do is just keep it open and narrow, leave the front end exposed, wrap this. I'll make my own grill. Most likely, I'm going to put a pusher fan on here whether it needs it or not. Because you really can't get that much draw open like that. See, in here, just have to take the radiator out, take this frame out, clean it, weld new pieces in for support. This has got to do something with the headlights. I want to sling the headlights down low. And probably put turn signals down here on the front somewhere. Do a little wrap thing here. And then that's the original front bumper. The back one has Packard stamped in the metal. So instead of being a coupe, like most coupes with that long slopey trunk, this thing's going to be bobbed off like a 5-window coupe with the Packard split window. All the rubber and stuff in this car is acceptable for what I'm doing, except for the windshield, naturally. Glass is good, seals are bad. So I got to re-engineer this because these can't be used, so I'm going to have to drop them down. Figure out what size arm this is so it makes a swipe, put individual controls on since they're separated by that bar, the flat glass window. Just simple things to do, design. Kind of like a highboy coupe. Front end. This clearance right here tells me that these are the wrong coil springs. That's way too high. This, here's the opening. See this right here? It should be riding in the middle. This thing should be down 2 inches in the front. It's not. I'm thinking these are Packard springs that they used off the 120, which was a heavier engine because it was a straight 8-cylinder. It's heavier. So when they were doing some part hunting, they used what they could get. They didn't match the springs because I guess the other ones were probably collapsed or broken, and they got the front end sitting too high. You could put the most powerful engine in the world on this thing. This frame, you couldn't twist it. Look at the metal in that frame. One thing nice about the Packard, right here is their master cylinder. It's not underneath the cab, just the battery. So we got some designing and some engineering to do because it's got a perfectly good battery holder down in there with the cover. I just have to clean the metal, put some rust-proof stuff on it, fix the locks on it, which I think get at Jags or Summit. It's the old twist style. And make sure this seat is mounted with hinges welded in the back. In the front with like a thumb screw, so you can reach down and turn those and lay that seat up and get to the battery if you need to. Then somewhere up front here, I'd put a set of lugs so you can just clamp your jumper cables on it so you don't have to do all that every time you have a problem. I could hide them up here somewhere or mount them in the trunk, which I'm not really keen on because if you get in an accident, I'm going to have a gas tank sitting back here, so I got to put in a scatter shield. Right there where it's open, that'll all be metal. Spot welded in, cleaned and seam sealed. And that's what's going on with the Packard. That's what I've discovered so far, just tinkering with it. I'm still waiting for Brittany's parts. Hopefully they'll be here tomorrow evening, but the latest. I need to delay this and get back on that. That should have been done, but now everything I want for the car, I got to order and wait or locate it or find it. So it's the slow part of the build. But once I look at all the dust is settled on, because I haven't worked on it for so long, I want to get a micro cloth out here and gently dust it off. The windshield and everything goes back on the car with this next thing. And then, like I said, I got to rebuild both doors. All the parts I got. OCD. Here's the passenger's door. It's the driver's door. This is the deck lid or the boot lid. Okay, there's two bags there because there's two different sets off two different cars. Here's the trim rings. Here's the headlight buckets. Here's the wiring for it. There's tail lights. I don't know if you guys saw this. I changed these out to LED. That's really nice. The rack's back on it. See these little gaskets. All this stuff that goes on now has rubber body gaskets to keep it watertight. So we're going to build the entire car. What you'll be watching me when I'm not working on that one is I'll have the dashboard to the Brittany right here, the MG, because part of the foam's ate away, chewed up by mice or something anyway. Got to cut it all out, refoam it, clean it up, and I want to do a carbon fiber skim. I was talking to my son. He said, okay. It would give it a real nice shell finish, easy to clean. It'll just really bond to it, make it nice. It's going to be a little bit of work, but I'm dead in the water. So getting it done this year. No one's going to buy a car like this in the dead of winter because they're going to have to trailer it home so it didn't kill them. So basically, I'm just going to finish it out at the same pace I've been working. When the whole car's done, last two things to do is I got a guy I'm waiting for to get an answer from this week on the rubber to go to that hardtop. We're going to put a polycarbonate back window in it, cut it ourselves and form it. We'll have all this done right down to the upholstery and the brackets for the top. You got to remember they got turnbuckles that draw it down. They don't have the little snappy clips. So we put it on, draw it down. It'll snap to the top of the windshield in two places. That'll be sealed down, okay? And then we're going to plastic wrap and tape the whole car off. And then I will sand, primer, and shoot the top on the car the same color. And while it's curing and drying, we're going to take Brittany, because that should be parted out and gone outside, and I'm going to sand and redo her rims and put her tires on her, the 10 inchers, to fill up these monster fender wells. And she's up for sale for my wife's charity work. That's the first car I've built in 37 years since I lost my youngest son. I taught my boys to love a drag racing and working on your cars. We were building a Mustang Fox body, put a 6-cylinder in it. He was pissed at me, and I told him, you should take you to the track and you show me that you can do it. And we'll take out that 6-cylinder. I'll put a 460 in there and get you a fire suit and all the requirements. And he left one Saturday, never came home. So this was me picking up the tools and doing it again. And this is me just building something crazy on a low buck build. Hopefully it's a low buck build. So my wife and I can run around on Fridays and Saturdays to car shows, go out and eat, and get out and do some stuff in between my building, because she can sit here and whatever I'm building will be sitting on this side. People, like, subscribe, and hang in there. That's just an update of where we're going and where we've been. Enjoy.